Hi everyone, Jen Pike here from the Simplicity Project, giving you a glimpse into some of the delicious recipes that you will be exposed to in this program. Now, one of the things that people ask all the time is, is this a diet? First of all, I hope I've already established that this program is not a diet whatsoever. I'm going to teach you how to love what you are preparing and what you are eating in your kitchen. This is one of my signature desserts that I offer up to guests every time they come over to our house. I serve them in a variety of different ways. I might have them on a platter. I might pile them up into a few different martini glasses. And what I love about these coconut peppermint chocolate truffles is that you can freeze them for a couple of months or have them in the fridge for up to a month, and they are going to stay fresh and delicious as the first time you made them. So let's get started. 1 cup of cashews. Now, you can make a softer, more decadent, a richer truffle by soaking the cashews. I'm not going to do that today, and it is going to be loud. You will need, hold on one sec, you will need a food processor. I have a girlfriend whose house I was at recently, and we were making a cashew carrot loaf. And she was trying to make the entire recipe in her magic bullet. I kid you not. Lisa, if you're watching this, you'll be able to fully vouch for this. Trying to make a cashew carrot loaf in her magic bullet. So we were trying to pulse down 2 cups worth of cashews. It was torturous. We actually sent her husband to the grocery store to go and buy a $60 food processor, and it made all the difference in the world. So go and get yourself a food processor. It is worth the investment. So we're gonna do a cup. We're gonna toss that in. We're gonna put the lid on. And we're gonna let this go on, not pulse. We're gonna push it on until this is fine. All right, so it should make almost like a meal, like a crumble. You can even make actually some of your own flours using almonds and cashews doing just this. What you might start to notice at the bottom though is I wouldn't recommend with cashews because they're a softer nut. Don't pop the lid on, turn the machine on, and then walk away for 5 minutes and come back because you will have made cashew butter, which if that's your goal, you can definitely do with ease, but it just needs a couple of minutes. Now, what I wanna do is just make sure that we get it pulled away from the edges and feel my way through that there's no big pieces left, and there's not, so that's great. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add in about 3/4 of a cup of dates. So you definitely need to use pitted dates. Now, sometimes it has happened before where I toss the pitted dates in and I hear this god-awful sound, and it is a pit that is still in one of the dates. But usually that does not happen, and I love using the medjool dates or just a softer date. So that's about 3/4 of a cup there. Now, when you put this in, you can add a little bit of water. So I'm gonna turn the machine on, I'm gonna start to let it do its thing, and then I'm gonna add a small bit of water because eventually this is all gonna come together and be like a huge kind of doughy ball that's all gonna mix its way through. Okay, so that started to work its way down. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn the machine back on, and I'm just gonna start to drizzle. So I'm gonna take the top insert out. I'm just gonna start to put the smallest bit of water in here. You don't want this to be mucky and murky and messy. If you've got residual liquid on your hands and then you go to roll the balls, it's just gonna become really sloppy, and we don't want that to happen. So we're gonna turn the machine on. And you can start to hear how it sounds heavier and bulkier in the bowl. So I probably did maybe a teaspoon. It was really fine before, and now it's starting to get into where it's like clumping together and I can pick it up as one. So this is the perfect time for me to now add in the chocolate aspect. So the chocolate's gonna come from the cocoa. So you can already see this is really rich in fat, in protein, in vitamin E. It is incredible for you. And I've actually got a tablespoon here. I would recommend doing at least 2 heaping tablespoons of cocoa in this. Now, if you wanted to make it even richer, you could add more. If you didn't want them to be chocolate, you don't have to do the chocolate. I'm gonna add this back in. Little more water. And then you want to stop and test it again and see. So what you should be able to do when you pick it up is be able to start to form it into a ball. Now that is just a tiny bit too dry, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add in about 3 to 5 drops of doTERRA peppermint essential oil. This is what's gonna give us the peppermint in this. Now, you could absolutely Shivananda shred up a little bit of fresh mint and you could throw that in there. That would be really delicious as well. But I'd love you to use a good quality peppermint essential oil instead of a peppermint extract. So it's gonna be less processed, no alcohol, no refinement. So we're just gonna do a couple of drops. It smells amazing. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, we're gonna do the smallest bit more of water. And again, I'm gonna recommend don't dump your water in when the machine is sitting still. You have to have the machine running. Hear that and see that? How I said it was gonna get into this big doughy ball of stuff that's moving around? That is exactly what you want. Now our recipe is ready to go. All right, so here we go. Now, what you're gonna do is you're gonna have your coconut out. You don't have to roll in coconut. I think it looks really pretty, especially in the winter months. It's like doing little snowballs. So I'm just gonna grab a little dish. So what you can do is have your dish here. You're just gonna put some of the coconut. Okay, so this is shredded unsweetened coconut, and I'm just gonna put some of that into the dish. And then from here, what I'm going to do, and obviously you've got clean hands when you're doing this, is I'm gonna pick up some of the mixture. That's actually probably a little bit too much. These are, like I tell people, it's like a healthy little Timbit sized treat that you're going to have. So there's my perfect little chocolate ball. It's so easy to do. The kids love making these with me. Now all I'm gonna do is just drop it in the bowl. And I'm just gonna shake it around. And there you go. There is one of my beautiful, awesome chocolate coconut peppermint truffles. And then again, same thing. Now you can choose all different types of toppings. One that I really love is I have finely ground up pistachios, which are really pretty too. You have green ones. I'll do frozen raspberry or freeze-dried raspberry. You can get a raspberry powder, or you can take goji berries, and you can also do it with them as well. So you can have some red ones, some white ones, some chocolate ones, some white ones, and that's it. So you'll continue this process over and over and over again until you've used it all up. You can double the batch, you can triple it, but I wouldn't recommend throwing all of those ingredients in there at once. So start with the recommended amount. 1 cup of cashews, 3/4 of a cup of dates, 2 tablespoons of cocoa, few drops of peppermint oil. That is all you need to start to blend, roll, and chew your way to an awesome, healthy dessert. More of this type of inspiration and so much more coming your way through the Simplicity Project 6-week online program.